Hey guys, how's it going? Tyson from Oxstrength. Today we're going to be talking about how to set your foot position in the squat and find optimal depth or bottom position when you're doing a barbell squat, back squat, front squat, overhead squat, bodyweight squat, or any type of squat. This is the main foundation of this movement, and if you're not doing it, you're probably doing it wrong, because this is going to help you a lot in power output, performance, injuries, and also have good balance so that you're not rocking back and forth when you're doing the squat. So we've all heard of the term tripod foot. So basically pressure on all three parts of your feet, your heels, your toes, and the side of your feet. But it's a general term, and we know the word, but we actually don't know how to do it, because we're trying to put too much pressure on the heels and we're tipping backwards, or we're trying to press down with the toes but our heels are coming off the ground. So I'm going to teach you how to set your foot properly first, and then we'll move into doing the actual squat. So first we want to put pressure on our heels and then the side of our feet. So yo bhaisakepachhi, put your toes down, and what we create is a foot arch. So this is something that we want to maintain the entire range of motion when we're doing the squat. So again, so heels, side of your feet, and then your foot, and then your toes down, and then same thing on the other side as well. Heels, side of your heels, and put your toes down, and we create something called the foot arch. And this arch is very, very crucial, because we don't want the arch to collapse, nor do we want pressure being removed from any one of the position. And when we're thinking about driving our knees and our toes out and then putting the toes down, then we create more balance rather than just trying to think of all 3 points at the same time, in which way you could, like I said, fall forward, backwards, and then not be able to stabilize properly. So this is the basic foundation of any squat, and you want to maintain this squat for the entire range of motion. Now we'll move into finding proper depth on our squat while applying the rules of this first segment, which we've just talked about, which is the foot arch. Alright, so once we've established how to do the foot arch position, we want to find hamro optimal bottom position of a squat. Basically, we want to bottom out, but create some sort of tightness with the help of a salva maneuver, which we've talked about in another bracing video, and then trying to keep your ribs neutral, all those things. But first, we want to see if we can actually get into a deep squat position without using any of our techniques. So for me, I have a bit of a wider structure, bigger legs, bigger torso. So मेरो stance with aligati wider than what is generally recommended in the first place, and that's completely fine because I've been doing it for quite some time. But for you, to start out, we'll just start out with about shoulder width apart, and then if you find it difficult or hard, then we could change the position into a wider stance, narrow stance. That really doesn't make a difference. But for now, what we'll do is we'll just find a general bottom position of a squat, in which we all should be able to sit down without the barbell on our back. So basically like yesto, or if it's too tight, maybe you could go a bit wider. But for me, if you see like nazik bhayo bhane, then I fall backwards, so that's not a good squatting position. So for me, it's pretty wide, maybe 1.5 times shoulder. So this is mero natural sitting position, and this is a position I'm comfortable holding for quite some time without any problems. And my ankles are fine, my hips are fine, I feel completely good. So अब यही stance width मा चाहिँ we want to introduce what we call the foot arch. Again, हामीले set गरेको थियो. I'm just going to talk it briefly again. So heels, weight to the side, toes down, same thing on both legs. And then now what we want to do is we want to find that bottom position again, completely down. अब यो भइसकेपछि चाहिँ we want to breathe and brace into our stomach. हामीले त्यो भिडियोमा कुरा गरे जस्तै. So we take a sip of air from our mouth and then put it into our stomach. यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो bottom out position भन्दा अलिकति माथि जान्छ, because हाम्रो ribs get into a proper position, अनि more stiffness create भएपछि we're sort of like floating from the ground, like similar to when we're taking the slack off the deadlift. So similar feeling हुन्छ. So bottom out first. मेरो knees, मेरो ankles are in full extension, मेरो hips are all the way down. So यहाँ भइसकेपछि taking a sip of air, यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I'm sort of like यहाँ थियो, सास मात्रै फेर्दाखेरि I'm almost floating off the bottom position because I'm creating a lot of tightness. So त्यो position मा पुगिसकेपछि just bounce a little bit just to see that you're actually working, and then your core and your structure is supporting the weight of your upper body instead of trying to hold a squat and then standing back up. So we want to breathe more. down. यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ slight float भइरहेछ, but remember हाम्रो foot arch position hasn't changed. हल्का float bounce भए जस्तो feeling छ, and this is the feeling that we want to replicate when we're going down into the squat. So again, माथि नै brace गरेर जाँदाखेरि we find that bounce position है. Foot arch, always remember solid feet, taking a sip of air, squat down. That bounce feeling is there, but for me it's always there because like I said, I've been practicing it for a long time. But for you guys, maybe it could be a bit different. So what we're going to do is taking a sip of air, tala gaera, find that bottom position few times and then stand back up, and then in a few days or weeks or months you are better able to find the bottom position and make your squat better. To put everything together, feet where you're comfortable, generally about shoulder width, foot arch set, breathe and brace into our stomach. Barbell sabaniban is the same thing, you have to anchor it over a midfoot. We've talked about it in another video. Go ahead and watch that video if you haven't. त्यो भइसकेपछि break at your hips and knees at the same time. So hinge first and then squat पनि हैन, knees forward and then hinge पनि हैन, same time. टक्क break गर्यो, go down, foot arch छ, find that pop, stand back straight up. उठ्दाखेरि पनि you don't want to push your knees back or I don't know, यस्तो त हुँदैन होला, push your knees back or anything. Constant tension through the floor and stand straight back up. And I think this video is going to help you a lot, especially if you haven't been trying to set your foot arch properly. On a tripod foot ramari maintain गर्नलाई चाहिँ foot arch is very essential. And obviously bottom position मा पनि you don't want to be trying to stop yourself from going down because you're not properly bracing. त्यो गर्दाखेरि it causes a lot of stress on your lower back. It's okay to go a bit deeper in the beginning because you're not finding the proper bottom position, but with time, with practice, with using proper equipment, you are better able to find the deep squat position. And hopefully in the future we can see better squat from you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in getting one-on-one coaching from myself, link is in the description. If you want to work with any one of our coaches that we have at Ox Strength here, their links are in the description as well. Lots of customized training templates, training apparel, supplements, basically everything that you need for fitness is there, and we will see you in the next one.